the friends that I have now, like the influencers, I didn't even know who they were because I didn't watch TikTok. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what these dances were. I was wondering where it all came from because I didn't really care about social media.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Tea. Today we got special guest Benji here.
What's going on, guys?
Damn, Benji. I'm trying to remember how we met. Like,
probably met at a party or an event.
Jared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We met at actually a basketball training session.
Jared,
and then
yeah.
I saw you at one of our friends' parties.
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw you, I'm like, motherfuck. I was like, this is probably not the best look right now. Seeing you at a party when I was just like training you like a week prior or 2 weeks prior. I'm like, this is bad. But then it ended up working out fine.
Yeah,
no issues.
Every time, because like I would tell Jared, like, hey, Benji's here. Like I see him, like I'm gonna try to get him fucked up so he can't make it to train you tomorrow.
Yeah. And did it really ever happen? No, I stay pretty committed unless I know like I'm not going to be feeling it because I don't want to waste anyone's time either. Because if I know my body's not like going to be awake or prepared or like I don't want to mentally be there, I won't waste anyone's time.
Right. Okay.
But like I can stay out till 2, 3 a.m., sleep 2 hours, and then still do it sometimes.
Damn.
Yeah.
How many hours sleep do you usually get?
Minimum. I can run off 5 hours.
5. Okay.
Yeah, I wake up pretty early every day, anyways.
Because you got to balance like all the like content creation, the shoots, all that stuff.
Yeah, actually, it's such a gym bro thing to say, but I actually revolve my whole day around my workouts.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so as long as if I know my schedule, whatever it is, like shoots or content or like work or like I'm opening up a business right now, I have to make sure like, okay, where is this 2-hour window where I can work out and eat and shower? That's how I plan my day.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wait, so you would go, let's say, so do you work out how many times a week?
5 days a week, maybe 6, depending on my mood.
Okay.
But like it's a committed minimum 5 days a week.
Shit.
Yeah.
And it's always been like that. You've been like...
I've trained 5-6 days a week ever since I started lifting weights at like... Seriously lifting weights, like trying to like bodybuild and stuff, started at like 22. So it's been 10 years.
Damn.
Of at minimum 5.
Uh-huh.
If I ever did 4, honestly, I don't even recall the last time I might have just gone to the gym 4 times. Even when I broke my ankle, I still went to the gym.
Damn, that's dedication, bro.
Yeah, there's videos. I'm like on a scooter everywhere. I would
on a scooter?
Yeah, I would be on a scooter to go lift weights and then go like shoot form shooting shots like on a scooter. Like, yeah, I never took days.
Like the one leg and like.
Yeah, that.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. I would like pay people to rebound. Like I did whatever I could. Yeah.
Shit. Okay. So that gets me like, okay. So I remember you said, so you're from Michigan, right?
Yep.
Originally.
Yep.
And then, so how did all that, like, how did you get from Michigan? And then you got into basketball and then played in Korea?
I played in like multiple countries.
Well, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about everything then. So how was it like growing up? Well, there weren't like a lot of Asians, right?
No, I was basically the only Asian.
You're basically okay.
Yeah. So, basically, just because I tell the story a lot, is just a sense of I just grew up being the only Asian kid in my area, and I was never around it, never surrounded by it, and I grew up like hating being Asian, like really bad, because I was always bullied and teased like constantly. So I never felt like I could fit in like at school. Like it didn't matter if I had a crush on a girl. It was like I had small eyes. Like don't talk to him. It was like almost like I was rejected by everyone, and like that's how I felt. But one thing I had tried and true was I was naturally a really good athlete. So like whatever sport I did, I was like, humbly saying like I was probably the best athlete. Like in elementary and middle school, whatever sport I did, I was like always the best or top tier. And that is the only way I became kind of cool or had fun was through sports.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of led me into playing basketball. But how I got into basketball was I actually grew up in my elementary life, half of it homeschooled in California.
Oh,
with
wait,
my
no
mom.
way.
Yeah, so I was a child actor and child model. So I tried to do the acting modeling career back when I was little. But Asian kids were not getting casted. So right by the apartment we stayed at, right outside was a basketball court. Just randomly.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I did. I just bought a basketball one day and I fell in love, and I'm not making this up. I spent at least 8 hours a day outside playing basketball. My mom would bring me a sandwich. I would eat one meal a day. I would just be there with a Gatorade. And my free time back home, I would like go on the computer and just watch like basketball clips of Tracy McGrady.
Oh shit, okay.
Like that's all I did all day since I wasn't getting no auditions. I just went homeschool, played basketball, break, watch Tracy McGrady, go play more basketball. I did it every single day until 5th grade. My mom says, "Do you want to just move back to Michigan and play basketball?" I was like, "Yeah." It wasn't a second guess. So when we came back, I was like the best basketball player in the city. Like just by far. I was like the fastest, like I could shoot, I could do everything. I was literally like touching the net as a 5th grader, like just jumping.
Wait, how tall were you in 5th grade?
I don't even know. I was just tiny, but it was just like, I was just jumping. Cause I grew up doing martial arts too. That's our family business back home. My dad's a Taekwondo instructor, grandmaster. We have one of the largest martial art businesses or franchises in the Midwest. So I just grew up being in a gym. I grew up in a gym.
Yeah, okay.
So I just did that and played sports. So basically along that lines, even though like I kind of had like issues feeling accepted, I had basketball, and that's what made me feel like accepted. So I grew up more in the black community growing up, and that is where I fell in love with like black culture and everything. And that's what kind of just gave me that tenacity and the competitive edge, and the attitude was just being around them like my entire life.
I
Like,
see.
that's what it was. So even like when I come out here, it's funny how like some people would take offense of how I say things, and it's not me like trying to get mad at you. It's just how I'm approached, because I'm telling people my whole life I was just kind of bullied, and like I always had something to prove constantly. So like that's just how we communicate. You know, everything is like tense all the time, especially back home. If you're like playing in Detroit, which is a very dangerous city, and you're the only Asian kid constantly, so they think you got money, so they're looking through your bag, or you get your shit. You're the first one getting your shit stolen. You're the first one getting cornered. You're the first one getting rocked. Like, it doesn't even matter. So, yeah, along those lines, I would just go through playing that in elementary, middle school. I went to high school in an all-black school my first 2 years. I was a starting varsity basketball player for 4 years too. And during my time there too, I would get beat up because my teammates wouldn't want me to start over their friend. So I had to go through so many things to like just get beat up by 5 to 7 people at school, and I would still play that day just to prove something. And like that's how I like earned respect through that community, was I'd like never like let go.
You said you grew up in the black area and culture. Did you get the pass?
Oh, I got the pass.
Okay.
And then I had to transfer out because we had death threats coming out of me when I was at the school. Yeah, because I would do well against these rival schools to a point like someone, which got me out of school for a month, was someone threw a brick in the school. I said it on Niall's podcast too, and it said, "We want to kill the chink." And that allowed me to get out of school for a month. But like we would have to have actual security, like take me in and out for the safety of me and my mom when we go to these games sometimes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So that led to me going to more of a public school of the white people outside my area. But like that was fine. But at the same time, I was still accepted just for being a good athlete.
Yeah.
You know, and I was still like the only Asian kid going to school. I was just known as the basketball player. And even then, by my senior year, we had the same situation where we played a rival school and we had a sold out crowd. We had like one of the largest high school gyms in the world. So imagine like you turn your back behind these bleachers, sold out crowd, like 700 students, and you feel thousands of chopsticks being thrown at you and fortune cookies. Like a school literally went to a Chinese restaurant, took all their chopsticks and fortune cookies just to throw it at me.
What the? Damn. Okay.
And then even that, so we had to postpone the game for 20 minutes for them to clean the court so we can continue playing. So like if that happened nowadays, that'd be all over social media.
Yeah.
No one gave a shit when I did it. So like that's kind of why I tell people, like, you know, I hear these stories, it's great, but it's like, man, there's some shit that I haven't even told people, that like, oh, why do you act like this? Why do you say this? Or like, and people don't really know my background on things. It's like I went through a lot. So that is why I am very prideful on a lot of things that I do. But I also stand on like love and respect and loyalty towards people, because like that is also the culture and environment that I grew up in.
Yeah.
When you're around like a bunch of basketball players and you grow up playing in team sports, and you have certain friends in gangs and certain friends that are not, but like trying to get out, everyone's like hustling to like play pro because that's all they want. And then for me, like I have more of a nicer life, like I didn't grow up in the hood, but having all that demeanor, it made me feel like I had to do that too.
I see. Okay.
So like you are what your environment is.
Yeah.
If you hang out with a bunch of like people who just party, like that is what you'll become. If you hang out in a very sketchy environment, like you become kind of sketchy.
Right.
So like, but during that whole time, I learned a lot about staying by your teammate, and right or wrong, you stick by them. And I think that stands with like my friends now. Like if you look at my friend groups, like I still have the exact same friends I made when I first got here. The same exact friends I have back home. Like nothing changes, and that's just based off loyalty.
I see. Okay. So that's what got you like, gave like, how you formulate your like competitive nature.
Yeah, my competitive nature just came from my background. I mean, also my dad. Like I did taekwondo my whole life. I was like one of the best taekwondo students, or like people who went to tournaments and sparred. Like I was a national gold medalist in the Junior Olympics growing up. So like I learned one-on-one combat, like just fighting and sparring. So like doing that your whole life. It's not mixed martial arts, but it's still a sport of like you have to time your kicks, you have to, pan everything. So I guess fighting and all that was so engraved in my head that I was never like really afraid of anyone when it came to basketball, because it's like, well, he can't punch me, it's a foul. So it's like if someone's just talking shit to me, and I already grew up dealing with that.
Yeah.
Nothing actually fazed me when it came down to it. Like you could say whatever you want to me, and I just kind of go, okay, like tell me something I haven't heard for 20 plus years. So yeah, I think I just developed a really strong backbone from my dad doing a lot of one-on-one stuff and being raised in a gym, and then from just the team aspect and having a mom and dad. Like I didn't have your typical Asian parents, right? My parents supported what I did. They weren't like, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor, anything. You don't need a 4.0. My dad grew up kind of tough too, and he became a grandmaster in martial arts because he followed his dreams.
Right. Okay.
So my dad had the same concept, was follow your dreams. Whatever it is, we support it. But if you're going to want to be a basketball player, and I know like this is something that might be taken out of context, so hope not, but like I just remember going, Mom, I want to be a pro basketball player. And she goes, okay, well, if you want to be a pro basketball player, you got to go play with black kids. Like you can't play in the areas that you are. You got to go play on the number one team in the state.
Right.
You got to try out. If you don't make that team, you're not good enough. Like my mom was so like, but she's like, if you really want it, you'll make it. And you
That's
have to,
good.
and you have to play with all the kids who don't have what you have, who don't have money, who, you know what I mean? So she put me through that, and that's what got me to where I'm at right now. So I did that through high school. And then again, there's no social media at the time. I'm 5'7" in high school senior year, and I'm dunking in games.
Okay.
I was the runner-up of County Player of the Year. I was a top 20 player in the state for my class, yet I didn't have a single Division I offer. Nobody wanted me because I was this scrawny Asian kid. Even though I would average 19 to 22 points a game in high school, no one cared. And I was dunking, and I would win the jump balls. I did the jump balls.
Oh shit. Okay.
And I would outbeat 6'6" people all the time. It was just like, but nobody cared. There's no social media. It wasn't a big deal. So I had to earn a walk-on offer from University of Detroit Mercy, which still didn't pan out the way I did. Like I quit because I wasn't prepared. Then I went to a different college, a smaller college, and I quit there too. And I just realized, because I dealt with racism with a coach. And at that point, I just quit basketball because I just felt like basketball wasn't giving me anything. Like I tried, and I kept getting denied. So I finally gave up. But during the time I gave up was when I found the weights.
Okay.
So I was this scrawny kid. I was like 150 pounds, 145 pounds as a senior in high school.
Oh,
I was like 5'7", 5'8". So like imagine a 5'8", 150-pound kid trying to play Division I sports. Like it's not going to happen, right? In
I
basketball.
can't imagine you like skinny.
Yeah,
I've
like
never.
yeah. So
Can't imagine that at all.
what happened was I went on a 2-year spree within that time when I quit, and I was just Googling things, and I like tried to get certified through NASM, and I just like blew up, just went up to 200 pounds, like, and got into bodybuilding shows. I did a bodybuilding show back when that wasn't cool either. So back when I was trying to do men's physique and competing, like it wasn't cool yet. So when I was doing it, everyone thought I was like gay. Like that was the word. This guy's like it was so bad because I was taking selfies for my own progress, but like,
Okay.
I would get ripped on, but like I
see.
didn't see the concept of social media yet because no one was popular doing it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get big because at that time I just quit basketball and my ex-girlfriend just cheated on me. So I'm just like, and she's making fun of me saying like I could fit your clothes, which she could. So like that got me into bodybuilding. So I just got as big as I could. I competed. I got like second place in my very first show, and then I did the Arnold Expo. Got top 20 naturally, and then even that point, I stopped doing it because then I was told through certain sponsors that wanted me, they wanted me to take steroids to like get bigger, like to pursue like, hey, you have a potential to like be like maybe a popular bodybuilder and like get into YouTube and stuff. And I didn't see the concept of social media back time.
All right. Okay.
Just like when I'm about to get in the story of pro basketball, I didn't see the concept of socials because I'm very big on like, I loved bodybuilding for what bodybuilding was. I didn't love it to get attention. I loved it because it gave me a sense of security and it made me happy. That's why I still do it 5-6 days a week. I love it. It's not to get, at my age, it's not to be as jacked as I can. It's like, I truly find so much peace through it, you know? I absolutely love lifting weights.
So you know how like people say that usually guys, a lot of people they work out. Let's say it's for like to pick up girls, stuff like that. Or like I feel like because of that, it's not really about passion. Like you really want to do it, so it's easy for them later on to quit.
Yeah, 100%. You have your reasons. Everyone has their reason, right? Like I started because I got cheated on, right? And I mean, I was skinny. I had to like get bigger, but I just learned through the whole thing was you'll figure out if you really love to do it. And it's the same thing with the whole steroid situation. Like you can talk to a lot of fitness people. It's like a lot of these people, young influencers that people look up to, and it's no bash on them. They make great money. Like I'm friends with a lot of them. I'm part of the Young LA group, so like I'm around a lot of them, and there's nothing wrong. But and generally speaking, if you take steroids at a young age and like you're making millions of dollars or something in socials, like I totally get why you're doing it, but I don't think you guys understand the health terms of it, right? When you take it too young, like you didn't learn how to lift weight. You know what I mean? You are relying on an illegal supplement that you shouldn't put in your body,
I see.
right? To look a certain form. And then now you have a following of kids that want to be like you, but you're not even promoting like a healthy lifestyle, which is crazy. Like you're a bodybuilder, bodybuilders, you're supposed to promote like, hey, I'm lean and I'm healthy. No, you're promoting like, I just inject drugs to make myself look good, but I'm too scared to admit it, Right. But again, even when you take it too young, like you didn't even learn to see if you love bodybuilding or if you can take it far. I always believe you should take it to your maximum point naturally. Like I'm 32, I probably hit my peak of like really growing. Like I can pick up a lot of weight right now, but to gain size, it's so hard at my age, right? Because everything kind of decreases as you get older. So like eventually when I'm 35, 36, I will take some type of legal prescribed drug that you get from the doctor, which is testosterone, because you actually need it, But to take other stuff, it's like, that I don't even know the names of. It's like, you should take that when you hit your peak naturally. I feel like once you maximize, like, you find out like, I love bodybuilding, I love this, I want to keep going, then you can make that decision to like do more, So
Benji ever was or is on steroids?
On steroids? I don't think so. Because I've seen like his workouts and everything like that. So nah, I don't think he's on steroids at all. You on steroids, bro? People like taking shortcuts, the easy way out, and then that's just, I feel like that's just how people are like. So then when you do say that, like, oh, you see those ads like, hey, you can make $500 a day doing blah blah blah. It's not like that. It's the journey, the hardship that you have to go through, right?
Yeah, and I just think that's what's missing now, because everything you can make, like I said, it's not, if you have a good face and a nice genetically shaped body, like, and you get lucky and just hit the jackpot, get a bunch of followers, like, I can see why they get caught up, but that is why a lot of them fail after 3-4 years, or they don't know what to do in 3-4 years,
Right.
or they learn that they don't really like doing this. Like I said, I've learned that I love lifting weights because I just love lifting weights, and that is why people get it mixed up when I say I'm 32 years old, and they're like, you don't look 32. Well, it's because I still take care of my body. I can still party with you guys, right, till 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
on weekends, but I still will wake up at 7 a.m. to train you guys,
Right.
or to train myself.
Yeah.
And like, that's because I built a mentality of like, this is what matters to me. And I guess like that correlates with basketball, because I went back to playing basketball because I did that 2-year spree, tried to, get as big as I can. Then I was told maybe take this so I can like go into YouTube or whatever. And I decided like, that's not what I want to do. And I think I hit my point too, like where I didn't find joy in like trying to compete. I don't know. This is weird. Okay, I mean it respectfully again too. Like, I didn't find it fun to starve myself for 16 weeks and then get on stage with 20 other half-naked dudes that are just very self-absorbed for that moment, which you should.
Right. Yeah.
But like in my typical like,
it just wasn't like your thing.
it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just really wanted to see how ripped I can get. Like, just like, dude, this is kind of insane, because I used to be this scrawny kid. So there was like some joy of like that. But if I'm competing against a bunch of people that are enhanced, like, I'm gonna lose no matter what.
Right.
So I was just like, this is pointless. So I stopped, and then I didn't know what to do with my life, because I didn't have basketball anymore, right? I supposedly quit. I'd play once a week. I'm running around 200 pounds looking like a bodybuilder. I could barely breathe. But somehow I was jumping out the gym. So I think from like learning how to squat and deadlift and like actually put some strength in my legs, I just went from dunking pretty well beginning of college. But once I dropped out, got into bodybuilding, I ended up having like a 47-inch vertical. So I was like smacking my eye at the rim. But I wasn't playing basketball. I was just doing crazy dunks, not filming them, not doing anything, just playing. But then one day, at the gym that I work out with, my old basketball trainer said, hey, I have this NBA agent coming in training these 2 potential lottery picks. Would you want to come and just work out with them? Because this guy has connects in Korea too. I remember that day, and I was like, no. And he's like, Benji, like, just come. Okay, like, nothing to lose, just come. Just show that you can just jump at least. So I'm like, okay. So I literally walk in. I have a Gymshark stringer on and short shorts. And I come in Chucks, and I have my basketball shoes. I remember that agent who looked at me and goes, that is not a basketball player.
That's a gym, bro.
Yeah, like, I'll give you a photo you can post. Like, this is not a basketball player. And I remember laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm not anymore. But then my trainer was like, watch him play. Since I was still playing once or twice a week, I still had handles. It's just like a little rough. But for some reason, like I said, this is why I believe in God. Is like, that day I just wasn't missing. It was just a day where everything was fluid, flawless, just looking really good. I did my first dunk. He said, what the fuck? Do that again. Then I started doing like reverses, 360s, like windmill, and he was just blown away. So he was just like, hey, I will pay for your first NBA D-League tryout, which was for the Cavaliers.
Oh, shit.
Because those 2 were going to a Cavaliers tryout in a week later. He's like, I'm going to take you with them, you 3. And I was like, I'm not paying for anything, though. Like, he's like, nope, I just want you to go. I want to see what happens. And then this might help you get into Korea. So my mindset's like, okay, if you're paying for everything and this is just like me trying this for 1 month, like kind of getting ready, I'll do it. Like, what do I have to lose, right? So I train, I do my dribbling, I'm like trying to shoot, I'm sucking ass that week. Like, I'm like, this is the dumbest decision of my life, right? I'm gonna get embarrassed.
Yeah.
So the night before our tryout, I go out with my friends.
Okay.
And I got so drunk that I woke up hungover, and that agent picked me up. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm hungover." He's like, "Are you stupid?"
How
And
old were you at this time?
I was 23.
23. Okay.
I was 23. Yeah, 23, maybe 24. And I just remember that moment. He's just like, "Are you really just like messing with me? You got drunk and partied the night before like an NBA D-League tryout."
Yeah.
And I just told him, like, "I'm not good enough." That's what I said. Like, "I've been trying." And he's like, "Well, you're already going, so just do what you got to do." So he actually paid no attention to me, like, when we got in. So I'm like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be bad." So we go in, and there's like 50 of us, and I remember seeing this 7'1" guy. It's the first guy I see when he walks in. His name was Moose Gay. Like, I still remember him vividly, and I'm like, yeah, there's no reason for me to be here, right? So we go through the tryout, and again, this is where I said, for some reason, everything was going in, and I wasn't trying. I did all the drills, and I probably made 80% of my shots.
So how's a tryout like? How does it look like? How does it feel like?
It's normal. It's not what anyone. It's nothing overbearing. Like,
Okay.
I always say, don't overthink it. It's like what you would think. You go, you stretch, you do your drills, and then you do team drills, and then you do like half court concepts, and then you play pickup basketball and see if you can like do what you were told.
Okay.
So I did the drills, and like for some reason I'm doing the drills fine. I'm dunking, and everyone's like, "What the hell? This is the shortest guy in here, and he's just jumping out the gym, and he's the buffest." And then the game started happening. So when we got all split up, I remember our game was on, and no one cared for me because everyone's like, "This is the only Asian kid," blah, blah, blah. And we played against that guy, Moose Gay, this 7'1" dude. And then J.R. Smith's brother was on that team too.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, what am I doing here? And I get subbed in, so I didn't start. The coach that picked me, he's just like, "Just go in." It was like 2 minutes left. So he literally benched me the whole time. Like, no one cares. And I'm stiff as a board, like legs are, so, from sitting the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is dumb. So I remember it was the very second play. And again, this is why I said it's just like God giving me a sign. Was someone shot the ball. I went to go get a rebound. And I swear to God, I just remember trying to jump to get a rebound. I jumped very naturally, grabbed it. And for some reason, my body just felt like, just move your hand over here and you can dunk it. So I just got a rebound, and for some reason, my instincts naturally put my arm. I remember my body just went like this, and I didn't realize I dunked it. I just tip dunked it. And then once I grabbed the rim, I realized I can't let go of the rim because I looked down and I dunked down Moose Gay, the 7'1" guy, and did not know he was down there. So I just held the rim, and I was just in absolute shock. And you just hear the whole arena, just no one says a word. It's just dead silence. So once like he moved and I like landed, we waited maybe 10 seconds of pure silence. Like, no one believed what they just saw. And then everyone went crazy. And then the next game, they started me. They just pushed me to the limits of 30 minutes of playing. And then I made the cut for that tryout. And that's actually what started my basketball career. Was just that moment. Yep, just that moment. So I didn't make the Cavs team, but then I went to Korea. Then I went to the Orlando Magic development team, and that's the team that I made for training camp. So once I made that helped elevate me for like Korea and all the other countries that I played in.
Damn.
So yeah, that one moment of like,
Like you had no idea. Like
No.
you just blanked out pretty much.
yeah, when I say like, Jeremy Lin has his stories too, where he goes like when he went through the whole Lin Stadium, he didn't even know what was going on. He just felt like something was controlling him.
Oh,
Like, he literally talks about that. He goes, there was moves I never knew I could do. You were just doing it. So I just remember that was my moment. I never tip dunked like that. And I sat down for 15 minutes.
that's pretty crazy.
And I was hungover. Like, I tried everything to fail. Like, that's like, you know what I mean? So how come the coolest thing I still haven't done anything that cool in my professional career. I never tip dunked over someone like that.
Your story about the NBA League tryouts. Does that mean getting drunk before games should be removed?
No, unless you're destined to unless you're destined to make it or do it. So, but no, I wouldn't recommend. But if you feel like it's really necessary or meant to be, yeah, go try it out. It's a cool story to talk about once you make it. You know, I've never even felt like I could jump that high. It just happened for that one moment, just to like say, hey, you can do this. And that is when my mindset just changed from like, okay, I'm devoting my time, just like I did to bodybuilding. I'm devoting my time to 5 days of training in the weights and 3 to 4 hours a day in the basketball court. And I did that every single day to that point.
Damn.
Yeah. And then I got obsessed with both. Yeah.
But then that's when you went to, so then you went to Korea.
Yeah. So when I went to Korea, and that's like a whole nother shit story, because that's actually what like really started my career and also ended my career, because you know, it's on Google too. I had to do a interview with NBC News because Korea basically shunned me from the KBL. I never got a chance to play.
Oh, okay.
And I can talk about it now because like to a certain extent, because I don't want to disrespect anyone out there,
Right.
but at the same time, like it really affected me and my family. Was like, you know, okay, I got a tryout with one of the KBL teams, and I went there, did an individual tryout, and I did really well. And they planned on having me as like the draft pick. And I do all these tryouts and everything, and I get a deal with Adidas and other brands. Like everything's on the table, like shit ton of money, like 2.1 million plus, like all in front of me. I'm looking at my parents and stuff like, hey, life's about to change.
Mama, we made it.
Yeah, like, yo, I can't believe this is happening. Like 5 months ago, I was just like partying and drinking and just like lifting weights, you know? And we noticed something was different because we had a meeting with the teams, and they were just like, hey, like we have this all planned for you, but you know, you need to forfeit your American citizenship and be Korean. But if you do that, you have to go to the military for at least a year. Once you do that, everything is here for you. You just need to be full Korean. And if you notice, like Korean culture, like they want you to be Korean. They like, because during my trials, they always call me the foreigner, and I'm like, dude, I'm Korean.
Yeah.
So like that's when I was going through it emotionally, because I'm like, yo, I grew up not being accepted by like black and white people technically, in a sense of just how I was raised at that time during that generation.
Yeah.
And now my own culture, my own country is like not even viewing me as a Korean.
I remember somebody was saying like, oh, they don't understand as a Korean, they don't understand the concept of like a Korean American.
No, they don't. You're either Korean or you're a foreigner. And I want to say it's changed now. I haven't kept up. I mean, obviously, like K-pop and all that's so big in the States now. I think things are changing, and I'm starting to notice like even Korean American basketball players now. I'm really happy for them. I really am. But part of me is very petty because I put a lot of work in to be where I was at to get no validation. And I know you should never do anything for validation, but like that's kind of all I ever wanted.
Right.
You know, like I see people like these kids going viral for like one small dunk, and I'm like, dude, I was doing that junior high school going windmills, and no one gave a shit about what I did, you know? And I'm like way shorter, and you're giving this 6'5" Asian guy props because he's dunking. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. But at the same time, I love that they're getting the attention and energy. You know, it's just the petty side of me is like, fuck. But the mature side of me is very happy with where Asian basketball is going. I think there's amazing talent. But going back to that story was, since I refused to forfeit my citizenship and go in the military, my parents worked hard to become American citizens.
Yeah.
Why would I give that up? You know, because if I give that up, like basketball's not forever. What if you injure yourself?
Right.
And Korean culture is like, it's hard. You know, if I have one couple bad games, they might not pay me. You know, you just don't know. So I ended up not getting drafted and wasted all that time just because I would not be a full Korean. So then there was like a bunch of protests and like people, like fans there, like where am I at? They want to see me. Even the players I was in the draft class with were just like, why is no one picking him? Like he was by far the best player, like, you know, like in our tryouts and everything. So it just didn't happen. But that gave me the burning desire of being like, okay, that point I was going to quit again, like I did in college. But I told myself from this point on, I'll never quit on anything I do. And I think that was like this driving force that I had. And that turned me into like this person that just had a vendetta And from that point, I just said, I'm going to play at some country as an American import without a second passport, without a dual, like all these other kids. And I'm going to show that I can really do it. And then 2 years later, I was the first Asian American to play as an import in FIBA Mongolia. And then when I played in Iceland, I was the first one to ever do it in Iceland. So
Mongolia.
yeah, so I was an import before Jeremy Lin. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we say import, you only get 2 to 3 of them per team.
Okay.
So like you have your team of 12, let's say, 2 or 3 are your imports. They're non from your country. So if we're talking about Korea, they're non-Koreans. They're the Americans. They get paid the most, and then the bottom 8 or 9 are the locals. And then the Asian Americans, like some Asian Americans who have dual citizenships, like you can play in Southeast Asia, like Vietnam and all that. As long as you have a Vietnam and American, you can play as a local. You can't play as an import.
Okay.
You play as a local. So that's why when I was playing pro ball, people would discredit me and go, oh, he's playing because he has a dual passport. How can I play in Mongolia if I'm not Mongolian? You know what I'm saying? Like, so everyone, even when I made it, no one wanted to give me credit. And that is why I always play with like a chip on my shoulder, or why I always had an attitude growing up.
Right. Of course, Benji, bro. God damn. I'm not at Benji's level, dude.
Who would win in a 1v1 round?
Yeah. Oh, 100% me with my left hand. And my eyes closed.
And you're right-handed?
And I'm right-handed. So, but that whole thing just set up my entire career for being where I'm at today. And obviously I never made it to the NBA. I never made it to like the top of the top. I don't think, and I think by the time at my age, because I started everything late, I started playing pro at 25, 26.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's late.
Right.
So like
In
my
basketball
engine,
standards.
my time, everything, like I was already coming on the come down. So like I couldn't hit my potential. And I also broke my ankle, and then I ruined my other one 2 years later, which ended up being my like, I can't do this anymore because like I can't recover fast. So like my dunking ability went down a little bit, and that was my bread and butter. But that also got me into shooting, which made me a really good shooter. And then because I became a good shooter, that's how I became a content creator and trainer, because I was able to teach people who couldn't shoot go from like this to this in a matter of a month or two.
Yeah, because I see your form. Even I remember last time you were telling me like, oh, you haven't really touched the ball in a minute.
Yeah.
But then the moment you picked it up, you shoot it. It's like every time it's exactly the same. And even when you miss, you knew you were gonna miss.
Mm-hmm. It's because it's still clockwork in my
Yeah.
head. I might have days where I'm like really not missing, but it's like if I'm trying to train you, in my head it's like, I'm not gonna train these guys and go and miss 5 in a row. There's no way in my head. And then like when I'm around you, it's like showing off. In my head, it's like I got to be confident. There's no way I'm gonna fucking miss 5 in a row on these guys.
Yeah.
And when I have that, when that clicks in my head, like when I want to show out or want to play, you'll never see me miss more than 2 in a row ever. I'll never miss 2 in a row. You can ask Jared when we try. I always say I'll never miss 2 in a row, and he'll always try and challenge me. I'll miss 2, I'll hit the 3rd one every time. It's because like I always tell you guys to recalibrate, right? Mm-hmm. I'm knowing if I know my form and how many shots I used to take, there's no way I should miss the 3rd or 4th one after I recalibrated once or twice. I can only miss so many.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I've shot so much. I used to shoot 1,500 shots a day at one point.
Damn.
So yeah, there's a lot of work and a lot of time. Doesn't matter how much weights I lift. Like I just refuse.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Jared. So basically, before Jared had another trainer.
Yeah.
And then I remember he was talking to me. He's like, "Oh shit, I found this new trainer. I found him out through IG, and then I'm gonna go train with him and see what's going on."
Yeah.
And then so that's how it all started. He was telling me, "Yeah, dude, it's like," because the other trainer didn't really teach him that much. Mm-hmm. And then when he came with you, like I think he would go with you like on the weekends. Mm-hmm. Next day he would play with me. He's like, okay, this is what I learned.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate Jared and you guys coming in, but like I said, when I retired from playing, I built a life of just training kids in the weight room and basketball. But when it came to basketball, I didn't teach what you guys see on socials, like the really fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's like this millennial Gen Z thing that we just did this game earlier. Like I'm just so old school on teaching that I'm also big on like, I'm not going to teach you something more until we master it. So like Jared was like, when we first met, he just wanted to shoot threes. You can ask him, the first like 3-4 months we trained, we didn't go to 3-point line at all. I said, don't shoot threes. It's like, oh, that's what you do to kids. I'm like, well, you can't shoot right now. So I'm not going to teach you. Want to shoot threes, you got to learn how I shoot. You know, my first 20 minutes of when I warm up, I don't even go near the 3-point line. You know, so I know what works for me. So I don't teach you guys something I haven't done yet. So if someone else teaches another way and it's different and it works, it's fine. But I know this works for me, and that's all I can teach. So if it works for you, great. You know, but I feel like Jared and anyone else who he's brought in and worked has definitely actually developed their shots.
Right.
You know, like I can tell that Jared's shot just changed dramatically. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
and that's us inconsistently training. Imagine if we actually did 4 times a week, you know, every Sunday,
Right.
you know, without his schedule, my schedule, and things happening. Because, you know, basketball training is not my first priority anymore.
Right.
But I still do it for people that I know love the game and I know that value what I teach. So I still keep my teaching processes for clients like Jared and you guys.
So what would you say is like from all this, because there's a lot of people, a lot of IG trainers now. And what do you like what's maybe one of the biggest issues you probably see? Because some of them, I feel like a lot of like ways that they teach is like just kind of like out there.
I don't watch them anymore, so I don't really have too strong of a judgment, but I do understand where they're coming from. It's kind of like you got to build a following. You got to build a social following. So sometimes doing all that crazy stuff, it builds you a following, you know? And sometimes when you're training kids every day, like I said, I used to have that business. I had my own gym, training kids every single day. You get tired of it. Like, just to be honest, it's like any other job, right? It sounds like a dream job. No, it's like, it's not fun teaching 8 kids a day how to shoot.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you got to figure out, like when you have a group class of 6 to 8 kids, like
chaotic.
sometimes you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You can one hour you have 4th graders, and 1 hour you have 11th graders, and the next you have 7th graders, and one's brand new and one's elite. Like there's a lot that goes on that people don't comprehend or understand. So sometimes you just do this, you just throw a random like drill. It doesn't make sense. But it's like, to be fair, yeah, that's wrong. But two, like, we're human too, all trainers.
Yeah.
And there's just, sometimes we're just not there mentally, you know? But that is why I don't compare myself to other people, because I know the way I teach people, I never go out of things that I haven't done myself. Like, if you notice, even when we train, like, it's very simple in the sense that it might be tiring, but it's very simple. It's just shots,
Yeah.
right? And then someone's like, oh, that's a waste of money. I'm like, no, I'm teaching you what you actually have to do, because we haven't gotten better from it. So I'm not going to teach you something until we mastered this one thing. If you want to be a good basketball player, once you master shooting to a certain extent, everything else becomes easy. Then we can teach you something else. I'm going to teach you a 1 dribble pull-up before we do a 2 dribble pull-up. And then once you know a 2 dribble pull-up, then I'll teach you a step back. Why can't we just do all 3 or 2? No, I'm a big person of be a master of one. You know, I'm very big on just like breaking it all down. Because if you really enjoy basketball, especially nowadays, if you can shoot the ball, you can play anywhere. You can.
Yeah.
You can play anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just shoot the ball, especially if you're just doing pickup or men's league. If you can shoot threes and just make 7 out of 10 every time, you're always going to have fun.
Right.
And then you're going to want to, okay, now I got that. Let's learn how to do a 1 dribble pull-up. Then we master that. Then you become really good. If you look at the best basketball players in the world, they all do like 1 or 2 dribble pull-ups. There's nothing more after that.
Right. So that's because I notice a lot of like especially the youngins, they always want to do like the flashy stuff, whatever they see on TV. Because I feel like a lot of the good players now, like in the NBA, like, you know, coming from overseas, a lot of them.
Yep.
So is there, you think, is a difference because of like how they train versus
absolutely.
over here?
There's it's, to me, the reason is it's just discipline.
Okay.
Kids growing up now are spoiled. Like, and I don't say that in a negative way. It's just like it happens, right? Like you see the Steph Currys and all that. and they can do whatever they want, right? When you go to Asian countries or European countries, there's like still a sense of respect towards your parents, and like you go to school, you just discipline. And them, they have a process out there, especially in Europe, where you start in third, fourth grade. So their pro teams, like think of the NBA, and like let's transfer it to Europe. So let's say the LA Lakers, right? If you're in that European country and your main team's the Lakers, in third grade they have a Lakers team. So if you're good enough, they start you there. So that is your after school program. You go to school when you're in third grade, and then you go to basketball. And from third grade and on up, they prep you to maybe make that team when you are old enough.
I see. Okay.
So it starts at an age where it's club basketball. It's real club basketball that they play year round. And they like groom you into being that player possibly if you can make it. Like Luka Doncic was playing on the main team at 15 years old because he was so good that he jumped the normal middle school team. He went to the pro team because he was just that good. But he's been playing pros since he was 7 years old. So imagine a 7-year-old here in America, he's just playing in the streets for fun and watching TikToks. When in Europe, that 7-year-old, their parents are like, okay, you're playing against pros, 12-year-olds that are good enough to maybe play. You're playing 8 or 9-year-olds that want the same job as you. Like you're constantly being challenged, and they're not hiring an Instagram trainer for $500 an hour that are sponsored, right? They're going to their coach that teaches them, okay, you have to run. You have to be able to run this suicide in 20 seconds. You have to do form shooting for 30 minutes. You have to do these dribbling drills. That's like an hour's worth of like homework that you do before they train and go to practice. So that's why when we do our training, we do form shooting, right? It's boring as fuck the first 20 minutes. But guess what? That's what they do overseas. That's how they prep you. So if they prep you doing that since you're in third, fourth grade, what do you think they're going to be like when they're 21, 22 in the NBA? They're so disciplined. That's why Luka Doncic makes things look so effortless.
Right.
He's been playing pro since he was 14. Look at his jump shot. He's slow. He shoots above his head. It's not like Steph Curry shooting here, but he can get to wherever he wants comfortably in 1 to 2 dribbles.
Right.
And that's because they groom these kids at such a young age. And we don't do that here at all. We have AAU basketball. I own an AAU basketball team in Michigan, and it's just a bunch of entitled parents that get mad that their kid sits the bench. When
That
you're
is true.
when you're in Europe, they don't care.
Right.
I coached one of those young 7th grade, 8th grade. The parents don't care. It's like if you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. You have to work for it. Because it's a different culture. You know, like there is a different culture in Asia and Europe. Like, you know, family is like very important.
Right.
You know, like here, you know, a lot of people deal with having single family homes, or they don't like their parents, or the parents don't like the kids, and you know, they go through dealing drugs or partying at like out there it's a lot more wholesome. Every time I lived in Europe or Asia, it's a lot more wholesome in a sense, you know, especially in the athletic world.
Okay.
So I think that's what it is if I were to ever have a son or daughter that wanted to play sports, I would genuinely be like, if you really want to do this, we have to do it my way.
Right. Okay.
Because it's discipline. You're not gonna play pro unless you're disciplined. And even if you're just naturally gifted and you're like really, really good, a lot of those guys still fail at the professional level because they have no discipline. They blow their money. They don't know how to train. They don't know how to like put in 2 hours a day. A lot of these athletes get so mad that they have to go to practice every day. Well, why? Because you're the best player in high school and college, but now in the NBA, you're not the best.
Right.
You're playing against the best of the best in the entire world. So you just go to work. But to them, no, I have like a bunch of money. Let me just blow it. Let me party. Let me get some girls. Like that's their focus. And then they lose all their money. So like I said, it's a discipline thing. That's why the best players now in the NBA are technically all non-Americans.
Right. Yeah.
Think of it. The Joker, Luka, Shy Kid Gilchrist, like that he's Canadian. You know what I mean? Like Joel Embiid. Like a lot of the top 10 players, top 10, top 15, maybe more than half are probably not.
They're like,
they're not even American. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that says a lot. When America used to be the best basketball team, now they can't even get a bronze in the Olympics. So, I mean, that kind of says a lot about discipline. Because now in the NBA, It's, or even like social media. It's like, how many brand deals can I get? Because really that should be, because it's hard to live in the world now. You got to make your money. So why would I care about being the best basketball player in the world when I can get this brand deal with Young LA to make me the money that I'm not making from playing?
Right.
You know, okay, let me learn how to invest and buy real estate, because like you have to set your life up. But then basketball is not your priority anymore.
I see. Okay.
So I think there's just like a lot more going on in the States compared to out there.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I
interesting
view it.
take.
Yeah, that's just how I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
I see.
Yeah.
So then, okay, and then now back to you. How did you transition? So you said that you started doing like you're on IG, like training kids, like doing videos and everything, and then that's how you started doing like content.
Yeah.
And then how did you transition to like what you're doing now, like modeling for Young LA, all this stuff?
Yeah, so the basketball stuff kind of accidentally happened. So I was just training kids, and I'm not even lying. People think I'm making this up. I didn't know what TikTok was until I was 28.
20. Okay.
TikTok's been around for a while. So like the friends that I have now, like the influencers, I didn't even know who they were because I didn't watch TikTok. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what these dances were. I was wondering where it all came from, because I didn't really care about social media. So, and this happened during COVID time. So I remember I was just training kids, blah, blah, blah. The gym started to open up, and one of my friends said, you should like show your drills on TikTok or like Instagram. I was like, what is that? And he shows me, he's like, dude, you can like show your drills. And I'm like, do I get money? And they're like, no, but like you can maybe like be famous or something. And I'm like, be famous? What do you mean? Like, I'm confused. And people are like, she's like, dude, this guy's like 1 million followers. And I'm like, for what? Because and there's like stupid things.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is what people like now. And I'm like, this makes sense. Like what all the kids are telling me and saying, like all the younger kids, like they're doing all these weird dances and stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like I was super lost. So I remember my friend who told me, he goes, dude, let's just do a TikTok. Like he made my TikTok. And I put the very first thing. I remember it was like three drills to do to be a better shooter.
Okay.
I remember that video. I made it. It looked, to me, I thought it was dumb. I was like, okay, like I'll put it up. I put it on TikTok at 9 p.m. at night because I got done editing at like 8. So I put it on at 9. I was like, okay, done. Showed my friend. He goes, okay, dope. I waited 1 hour, like 10 p.m., 0 views. I was like, this is dumb. You know, like I'm not doing this. So I woke up and I forgot about the app because I was like, I don't use it. So then I went the whole day not looking at it. Then I went the second day. And my friend goes like, dude, what the fuck? And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, have you looked at your TikTok? I'm like, no. I looked and it instantly hit like 10 million views.
Damn, your
The
first
very
video.
first video just hit it out the park. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I got a shit ton of followers from it too. And then he goes, no, dude, you have to like keep going now. You now post on TikTok and Instagram. Like whatever you post on TikTok, post on Instagram. And I wasn't using my Instagram at the time. So I was like, okay. So I posted it on Instagram and it blew up on Instagram too, which blew up the old page. And then from that point, I was like, let me just make like 5 videos today and then I'll post it every day so I don't have to do anything for a week. And from that point on, I posted every single day for 3 months.
Damn.
7 days a week, I posted constantly, and I started getting deals with supplement brands to.
About Benji's first TikTok video blowing up.
Dude, that's a crazy, man. He said what, like 10 million views, right? That's fucking wild. How was your first video at 10 million views, bro?
Built me a clientele in Michigan because no one in Michigan was a content creator. It's not like LA where everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
I was the only content creator that blew up and made. So then that's how I started making a lot of money because I had random people DMing me, parents coming up to me like, train my kid, train my kid, train my kid. I was charging $60 an hour at that time.
Okay.
Maybe in a month later, I charged $150 an hour.
And this is when you were in Michigan.
Yeah. So I was at one point fully booked
Uh-huh.
to a point that I didn't do more than 15 hours a week because I was just so booked that I would charge 150 and then 150 for 50 minutes. That's it. And then anyone past that, any times that I wasn't allowed to train, like I didn't want to, so past my work hours, I would charge 200.
Yeah.
And I would have parents actually pay just so they can be in line. I had a wait list the whole time. And I just did that constantly. And that is actually how I made my money and like how I made a brand back home. But I did that for a year and a half, maybe, or two. And I made an AAU program as well. It's called Top One.
Top One, okay.
Yeah. So we're a pretty successful program. But what got me here was as much as I was making a lot of money, and I know some of my friends, even people I talk to here, it's like, why did you give it up? You know? At the end of the day, for me, I'm just very big on like, I want to be happy. Because like, I think I grew up my whole life not being happy. Mm-hmm. Just like I don't want to be like all emotional about it, but like, you know, I still have my insecurities. I still go through my issues. But I just wasn't happy doing it. Like, I love seeing people get better, but like, I didn't want to train kids for the rest of my life and just like do these like every 50 minutes, like pay me this and train. And like, I didn't find joy in it after. It's like I got burnt out.
Yeah.
Like I just did. And then I realized by the end of that sessions, like sometimes it would become more of a money grab. Like instead of viewing that kid as like, I want to help him, I was like, okay, well, I'm getting paid, so I'm gonna go. And I would actually start to not give them the right drills because I wasn't even prepped anymore. And that is when I realized like, I can't do that. Like this is wrong. I can't be taking money like that from client or parents, especially in the economy at the time. So, but as I told you, as a child actor when I was little, my whole life, I always wanted to act. That is what people never understood. But I never showed that or told that because of the environment I grew in.
Okay, yeah.
I couldn't be who I wanted to be because everything I did was like I was a loser. Right. I was just made fun of. And fun fact, you want to know what my favorite movie was? Like growing up and nobody knew. You know how like you have these Asian stories like, oh, Asian kids would like watch anime like without anyone knowing because like they were picked on?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. My favorite movie growing up was High School Musical because I felt like Troy. I felt like Zac Efron, where he was a good basketball player, but all I wanted to do in high school and middle school, I wanted to be in theater class.
Okay.
I literally wanted to I wanted to be in theater. Like I wanted to go act. I wanted to do like drama classes and stuff.
Did you
but
like,
it was
do it like?
No, it was all the like quote unquote. I don't want to be mean. If any of my, I know I went to some of my high school classmates or people went to school like hit me up now, but like you were a loser if you were in drama class or in theater growing up. Yeah, like the biggest loser. Yeah, if you're in music or choir,
right,
you were a loser. So like I never did it because I did not want to be viewed as a loser because I was already a loser in my head. I was like basketball. Like I have to be cool. Like I have to like be really good at sports.
Right. Okay.
But when I'd go home, I would watch High School Musical constantly because I'm like, oh my god, like I want to do that. I want to find a girlfriend doing that. Like I don't want to like, you know, like I swear to God, bro, it's cringe, but like,
oh shit,
I grew up always wanting to do it. It was my childhood dream. Like I literally did as a little kid. Like I did stand-up comedy and like all that stuff. Like I was homeschooled with all the Disney kids too, like Hilary Duff and everyone. I grew up with all of them. Yeah. And I was also the final callback to be the voice of Aang for Avatar. So I was supposed to be a multimillionaire. I just didn't get it.
Damn.
So like I did a lot of things when I was little. So now a pinpoint to this time was while I was training people, I played in the Drew League one year prior. I was dunking. So which happened, they give me like an agent out here at the time. They're like, hey, we need a Asian basketball player for this commercial for Fitbit or for like Nike. And I was like, okay, how much does it pay? You know, and they tell me how much. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, and I would tell my ex-girlfriend at the time, like, hey, babe, I'm just going to like fly out to these commercials when I book them. But I'd stay in Michigan. Like we stay in Michigan. I do my training. If I book something, I'll cancel a week out and come here. And I was booking things like every other month from Nike or any other brand. And what pivoted me here was I randomly got an audition for a music video for like an NDA, like no one would tell you what it is.
Okay.
But it was to be someone's boyfriend.
Okay.
And I'm like, and it was like a very cringy audition. Like I had to like talk to myself like I'm trying to turn myself on for like 20 seconds, and I'm in my basketball gym with clients in like 30 minutes. I'm trying to make it. So I'm like, this is bad. Like no one can hear me do this. So I literally ran to the gym. I told the kids like, everyone shut up or go on that side. I told my coach, I'm like, you train the kids, do not come near my office for 20 minutes. Like if anyone goes near you, you're running suicides for the whole day. And so I literally had it peace and quiet for 20 minutes, and I made the cringiest audition of like flirting with myself, basically. And I don't know how to act really, you know. I was just like, all right, this is bad. So I did it. I turned it in. And then the crazy part was there's a whole nother story into it, but I want to cut it to like keep time short. But basically I found out that I booked this music video, and they were like, hey, you booked it. You got to fly back to California right now. You're filming it tomorrow. And I'm like, oh shit. I told my ex, and I was like, oh, I guess I booked a music video. And like, what? You just do basketball? I'm like, I don't know. Like, but it's a lot of money. So I just fly and I go into it, and it's for Saweetie.
Oh shit.
So I played Sweetie's boyfriend in her music video Closer. And that actually jump started everything, because I went in and I'm not used to attention, but like it was almost like everyone left and right. It's like, oh my God, you're so attractive. Or like, oh, why aren't you living in California modeling or acting? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know,
That was
like,
the first time you started
I did, but
experiencing.
yeah,
that
like
kind
I
of-
didn't feel any attention either. Like I didn't comprehend like people saying like, oh, like you can do this. Like, why aren't you doing that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a basketball player. Like, no, you can do more than that. And then once we finished that music video, it ended up getting me a call from my current manager now. I had managers and agents left and right calling, DMing me like, we want to sign you. We want to sign you. So I ended up getting this manager that said, I think you can be a big actor. All you got to do is move out here, or you can at least model and act during your time here. And since that was like a full circle moment, and that was the moment I was telling my past ex at the time too, who's originally from California. We already planned to move back here together anyways. So we planned on moving back. And I was already in that moment telling her like, I don't want to train kids anymore, like, but I don't know what else to do. So that's why we had the decision of, let's maybe move to California together, and like, you maybe try to act or model, and you can pick up like a restaurant job or something until you figure it out. So I was actually okay with doing that. So unfortunately we broke up prior to that, just for, you know, whatever reasons. I wasn't the best boyfriend at one point. That is why I am how I am now about relationships. But that is the reason what got me to move to California. Was I got a manager and agent that believed in me, and I thought it was a full circle moment. Like I said, it's like a God moment of just saying like, hey, this is what you wanted as a little kid. Asians are kind of in right now. You don't want to train kids anymore, or you don't want to do it to that extent of like your life. That I'm giving you your chance, but you have to give up everything and move here. And I did. I moved here by myself. First month here, I was living out of a rental car, and then got a place. And now I am here 2 years later. I've done a lot of commercials. I've gotten close to major movies. Didn't book it. And there's an actor strike too, so a lot of things not happening. But fortunately, I was able to develop a new content page that's doing really well. That's just like more fun and jokes. That's allowing me to be myself.
Right.
And then I'm very thankful that I was very fortunate to sign with Young LA, which is a pretty large brand. And I model for them full time and also do some content with them. So like, it's like a full circle moment. Because even
you do a lot with them. You do a lot of shoots.
Yeah, because even 4 years ago when I was living in Michigan, I would tell my friends, and you know, back when Young LA was, I mean, it's still cool, but I mean, like, I was thinking like, man, that'd be so cool to be sponsored by Young LA and be a basketball trainer or something. And I was like, that would never happen.
Right.
I remember telling, like, I had calls with my friends recently from back home. They're like, hey, remember when you were like, you would never be a Young LA athlete because like you're a basketball trainer, like maybe you're not like fit enough or something like that. I'm like, yeah, this is really weird. Because out of all people, like, I'm also their smallest creator that they signed. You know, they signed athletes that have like 1 million followers or like 200. Like, I'm nowhere near that. But the fact that they took a chance on me, it's like, and I think that just comes from just perseverance, discipline, and staying consistent and like not giving up. So that's what like I would tell you or anyone else, like if you really want something, like just don't give up. I think you'll always accomplish what you want in life, or what you want. It might not be to the extent that you need, you know, that you imagine it to be. But I mean, if you work really hard, like you'll get to a certain point, you know, and then you'll make the decision, like doors will open through that. Like just because I didn't book a major movie right now, I'm still able to get into content and now be grateful to have a full-time modeling job. Like there's a lot of models here that can't do that. You know, I work, you see my stuff, I work 2-3 times and I'm shooting constantly.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just so grateful for it. So like I said, all these avenues are opening up and you just are not allowed to say no to opportunities. Always say yes to opportunities. Right. Just like your podcast, you asked me to come on. It has nothing to do with your numbers. Right. It's like, okay, this benefits me and it also benefits you. And like, you never know what comes out of it. And I think if you have that mindset where you're not judging people based off of their following count and you just judge people based off their personality, because obviously I respect you and, you know, I adore you too. So it's like, why wouldn't I not want to help you with something that you want to put time in?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So it's like, that's the vibe. If you have good energy, you should get good energy back.
Right. No, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. And I guess that's why I'm at where I'm at right now. It's like, I try to stay as true as I possibly can.
That's rare because a lot of people are like surface level.
It's so hard. Like that's like a whole nother topic. I don't think anyone ever wants to be fake, right? Like anyone, even, you know, people that you probably assume that are fake, right? And I assume that are fake, but I just don't think anyone actually wants to be that way. I just think it just comes down to just, does that person match your energy? You know, everyone has different energies. That's it. It's just someone that just doesn't fit, you know? And everyone has different personalities, but I just think at the end of the day, like for me, especially in the industry I'm trying to pursue, and you know, no shots called, but you know, even we have a large friend group, a plethora of different personalities, and like some I don't rock with, some you stay away from, and some you're very close with. Right. But I just think if you just block out all the naysayers, like I hear my name all the time, even within this friend group, and it blows my mind. Like part of me wants to, you know, do something about it. But another part of me is, it's just not worth my energy. It's not worth my time. I know deep down, at least, and anyone who hears this in our friend, I'm dead ass about it. Like, I don't care what you think of me. I know I'm doing what I need to do to make myself happy. And I know for a fact there's nobody that I've met within this group except for a select few, but it's very known that I've done nothing but respect you or nothing but show you love and on. There's not ever a situation where I've never not showed up. That's what I tell people. You don't have to like me, but I know deep down you respect me, and that's why you don't say anything actually to my face. Because you know at the end of the day, you invite me to something, I go to it. You tell me to pay for something, I pay for it. You know what I mean? I always say thank you. I always ask for permission. I'm always being respectful. And then at the end of the day, I'm just doing my own thing. Because like what I do is funny. You know, I'm a content creator. I'm a gym bro. I throw up sus content. I throw funny content. I throw the random content. You can say whatever you want, but guess what? I'm at least being myself, and I'm happy. And I think if you can't respect that, then that's fine. But just do your own thing then. And I think as long as you pursue that too, you'll be fine. Because I think we just live in a very judgmental era, and even with our friends and people not in our friend group, like you have to protect your energy, but you should always surround yourself with people that just genuinely support everything you do. You want to be a podcaster? Fuck it, let's run it, bro. Like, let's see how far we can take it. Can I help you? Can anyone else help you? And those are the people you should surround yourself with.
Right.
Yeah, because everyone talks shit until you make it.
Yeah, that is true.
I get so much shit back home and some shit here, but now that I have just signed with a brand that everyone wears, now everyone's like, oh, give me some clothes. Oh, you're so cool. Oh, it's like, shut the fuck up, dude. I literally still have texts and receipts on all you motherfuckers on what you said about me. Like, I just don't have to say it.
Yeah.
Like, there's people who are so nice to me, and like
all of a sudden,
or like slowly being cool, and I'm like, you don't think people talk bad about you too?
Mm-hmm.
People love gossip and drama.
Mm-hmm.
All of it comes back. I just don't say anything. I have screenshots and I have a whole gallery of just fucking ammo. Like that's just how that's how I function.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, dude, when I just see that, it just irks me. But at the same time, there's no reason to be negative toward the person,
Right.
you know, because they're going through their own thing and they'll learn on their own. It's just that you just got to protect your peace. That's about it.
I see. So you definitely I know you definitely understand like putting in the hours, right? And then you're also like super ambitious. You have goals, like things you want to achieve. So a lot of people, you know, they're always like, oh, you got to find balance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think like you could actually find that? Like it's because it feels really hard. Like people say it's easier said than done to find balance, but because if you have to, let's say like work to achieve what you want, then you got to everybody has the same 24 hours. You have to put in more hours in that. So for example, if like relationship, right, you might not be able to spend as much time with your partner. How do you do you agree, like how do you navigate that?
Like I said, I think I have a good grasp of it because I didn't know how to navigate through it in my past. That's why we're not together, right? But I learned from it. And I think the biggest thing is like learning from your lessons. But there's that work-life balance. Yeah, you should have fun and like do your stuff. But I think the best way to go about it is your balance comes from how much do you really want it. Like don't think about like I need a balance. It's like if you want something, you go get it and you do everything that you can to go get it. But in that moment, if you feel like you want to hang out with somebody or you know you're neglecting something, then you know when to put time. So I always just tell people kind of like I said, there's no such thing as a work-life balance, in my opinion. I always say, do what you know is necessary or do what you think is best for you. And you always know what's best for you. I always say, trust your instincts and trust your gut. You know, that inner thing that says, oh, I shouldn't do that. Or like, this is probably not a good idea. But guess what? It's probably not a good idea to do it, right? Or like, oh, maybe I should do this. Or like, oh, maybe I should wake up at 7 instead of 7:30 because I need to get this done. But then you sleep that extra 30 minutes, right? It's just like, that's what I say is, you know what you have to do. So just go do it. So I don't understand balance when, if you have an ambitious goal, like I want to be an actor, right? I want to model, or I want to do this. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to do what it takes to get there.
Right.
That's it. So to me, that's not a balance. So it's either you support me or you don't. I don't need to balance my friends because the friends that love me and support me, they know what I'm going for and they understand and value what I'm doing and they're there for the ride.
Yes.
That's it. I don't need the friends that I have to go on the side to like entertain because it's bothering you.
Yeah.
You know? And the same thing with like a girlfriend. You know, if I'm dating someone, which I'm not, I just view it like that girlfriend knows what she's signing up for. I need to support this man, you know, and do that. And then I'll do the same. You know, if you show me love, like I said, I'll show you love. You know how it works. Like, I'm never gonna, you want me going, it was what, 1 second? I said, yeah, of course. Oh, come on. Because I know it benefits you and then you come benefit me. Like, I know that everything like you give to me is genuine, so I'm gonna give you genuine back. So yeah, I guess there's no such thing as a work-life balance. If you want something, you go get it and you do what you can. If you feel like you need to spend time with your friends, go spend time with your friends because your ambitious goal is still going to be there. Yeah. You know, like it's always going to be there. But if you start thinking like, I need to do this, but on top I got to do this and that, then now you're just scheduling your dream.
Right. Okay.
You're just scheduling it.
Oh, that's good.
That's not a fucking dream then. Your dream is that you want it. So for me, I want to be an actor. I moved my whole life from Detroit, Michigan to Los Angeles, California. Like that. I didn't think about it. I just did it.
Yeah.
Then you have a lot of people that your friends and family, oh, I want to move to Los Angeles, but I have this house, I have this dog, I can't do this. I can't just up and leave, or like, no, I have my family here. It's like, see, you're scheduling it. If you want it, you're going to go do it. And anyone who supports you, they'll support you, right? Now I'm here. I said, okay, I can't really act necessarily because acting is like a roll of the dice. You know, you get an audition, thousands of people do it. You can do perfect but not get it. You know, there's some political, whatever. But guess what? Acting is not for me, acting is, you're acting every day. This is acting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning how to be on a podcast. What if I get a scene where I'm on a podcast? I'm doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Acting is your life.
Right.
That's the beautiful part. So I'm working every day.
Uh-huh.
So how do I make money? Because I'm not making money. Okay, well, let me make content because maybe I can get some money here. Maybe model if I can. How do I do that? Okay, let me just put out a bunch of different crazy content, even though it's kind of weird, but I want to do it, and I do it. And then I book this. I get this. Oh, I need to make money. If I have to buckle down and take a fucking waiter job, if I have to survive out here, I will. I have no ego.
Mm-hmm.
My ego's gone now. And then anyone who wants to make fun of me for doing that, like, fuck you. That's
Right.
it. Like, I don't care.
You shouldn't let their opinion bother you.
No, everyone has their deal. Like I said, if your life revolves around the status and how much money you have, or like what you're doing, or you value partying and having fun, there is nothing wrong with that. Please go do it. I would love to do that. I would love to have a bunch of cash in my pocket constantly, and just throw a bunch of singles and have fun every weekend. I admire anyone who does that.
Uh-huh.
Like, fuck, I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that doesn't give you the right to be negative towards somebody else that has different types of dreams and goals.
Right. I feel like, yeah, if you want to be successful, like, the goal that you have, it's got to consume you.
It has to fucking consume you, bro. That I guess if I really wanted to be like encouraging, because I never made it yet, right? Like, I didn't make it as an NBA player. I didn't make it as like a famous actor or like a famous content creator or anything. So someone's gonna be like, "Oh, why am I listening to this motherfucker when he hasn't like actually made it?" But it's like, I never gave up, and that is what's getting me to this point. I'm just like, and I'm happy with my life. I'm 32, and I've never been happier. I make less money than I've ever done in my entire life. Less money. Just make good money. I used to be a professional basketball player, being surrounded by thousands of people constantly. At a point, that's a whole other story, like a plethora of like options of women and like not getting in trouble while dating. So like, it's very like just that type of lifestyle. And I was never happy. Now I'm at the point where like I'm not making as much. I'm single. I'm trying to find love in a sense, and at the same time I'm like trying to go for like these dreams that seem impossible with everything going on, or I'm too old to do this, too old to do that. But I've never been happier.
Amen, brother.
I'm like, yeah. So why would I be upset with myself when there's so many people that make millions of dollars and they hate their life?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's people who are stuck in making a lot of money, but they can't get out of their lane because that's just what it's like my basketball life. Like, I didn't think I could get out of it. You can.
Yeah.
Your life can't revolve around your status. Your life should revolve around love, and like love from your friends and family, and the friends that actually want to be there for you, and just being passionate about what you do, because you're not promised tomorrow.
Right.
You can talk to a lot of CEOs and billionaires. Like, I used to have clients like at that level, and they would tell me the same thing. Like, I was like, "Did you enjoy your life?" And they're like, "No, I wish I would have like actually pursued something I wanted to do." Because money is great, but money is also the devil.
That's true.
And sometimes like having so much money or so much status just leads you to having not the best people around you.
Yeah.
That's it. And like I said, you can have $1 million right now, but if I was to give you $1 million, but you only have a week to live, like, is it even worth it? No, it's not.
That's a good point.
It's not worth it. That's why I said, like, you should always go for what you love and what you do. As long as you can do enough to, like, even if you have to hustle and grind just to pay your rent, but you're doing what you love, guess what? When you do succeed in it, it's going to be that much rewarding. It's going to be that much more amazing. Like, just think of this podcast. You have X amount of followers right now. You might want to give up next week. Then you never know, in 6 months or to a year, this blows up and this becomes like a full-time job, or at least a job where it makes at least part-time. Now you have a couple brands. Like, that's better than 99% of podcasts already. Mm-hmm. If you get to the 21st episode, you're already better than 99% of podcasts, because they don't even make it to the 21st episode.
Uh-huh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, there's so many things that you can accomplish. It's just not at this like large feat.
Right.
Right? But who cares about the large feat? It's about the journey.
True.
So
yeah.
if you can enjoy these processes, like, everything is so much better, man. Like, you just got to enjoy the present. Just be happy right now, because you're not promised tomorrow. You're not even promised next year. You can make $5 million right now off this podcast, be like a Joe Rogan-esque. But if you knew having that and you were gone next week or 2 weeks, is it worth it?
It's not. Yeah.
It's not worth it, bro. So just like I always say, go for what you love and what you're passionate about, and things are just way better. My life is so much better now, and I'm doing everything that I'm starting over at 30. I started over at 30.
Damn.
And it's late, but it's not late to me anymore. That's why I feel young. Maybe that's why I'm not aging.
That's
I'm
how
just-
you feel Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm just not aging because I feel happy right now, man. I'm always happy, or I'm happy for the most part. Happy
That's
for the most
good.
part. Yeah, happy for the most part.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then earlier when you were speaking of, I guess like love and everything, right? So I do have a few questions. So basically, I got some questions about like, do you consider if this is cheating? So these are some interesting stuff. All right. I don't know if it's gonna get you in trouble or not, but
No, it's not getting me in trouble,
I'm just
man.
kidding.
Don't worry.
But-
Just say what I want.
All right. So, is it considered cheating if your partner frequently texts their ex but insists they're just friends?
If it's cheating. Yes, because you're not respecting me. That's what it comes down to. I'm not, like I said, I'm pretty old school. I'm not gonna date anyone that's not gonna that's just gonna put that on me unless we've already communicated this prior. So before I date anyone, I'm gonna know them. Like if that's how they function, like if it's already like kind of in the works, like that's how they text anyways, I can't change who they are. You know, I gotta love them for who they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess so, because I know for a fact that person probably won't be happy if I was to do that, right? So if you know that's not gonna make someone happy, you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
So I guess like for me, I can't really say yes or no because everyone's like scenario is different. But my sense is like, I respect my partner. So if I'm not going to do that to you, you shouldn't do that to me. And that should come with common sense.
Right. Okay.
You know, like, how would you feel? Like if the girl you're dating right now is like texting their ex frequently.
Yeah.
Like it might not be cheating, but like it irks you, right?
Yeah.
It bothers you.
Exactly. It's gonna be on your mind.
Yeah. So if
Yeah.
it bothers you, and you love that person, why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I view it. If it bothers my if it bothers my girlfriend, I should not do it. And I don't even need permission. I should just not do it. And that's when it comes to showing respect and love to your partner. And that just came from maturity on my end. So like, because I used to do that bullshit all the time. Yeah, that was bad.
You feel a long way.
Yeah.
Is it cheating if your partner has a close friend of the opposite sex whom they confide in more than you?
It's not cheating, but it's just coming down to just disrespect again.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I have 2 close girlfriends back home in Michigan. They've been my best friends like since high school. And then I would say like I have a couple of girls here in California that I've grown very close to that I trust.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to confide, if like maybe the person I'm dating has the same scenario, like I'm just viewing it on my end. If I was to have these close girlfriends here, I'm not going to confide them more from my girlfriend because I'm going to date somebody that I consider my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't tell you about it, then we shouldn't be dating.
Right.
Anything I tell my best friends, I should be able to tell my girlfriend, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So again, it's not cheating. It's just being disrespectful. You know, because at the end of the day, you can't control what people do or what they say or how they act because everyone has a different upbringing. So, yeah, would it bother you? That's what I always say. Like, maybe in a certain argument, but if they've been best friends for a long time, you have to kind of comprehend that too. Like, understand, like, they do have some trust value. They did know that person before you came along. But if you can't talk to your partner, then, like, then why are you in that relationship in the first place?
Right.
That's how I see it.
I feel like, okay, because like I always thought like maybe when you're younger, there's no such thing as like a guy best friend, a girl best friend, kind of like that. Because you know, there's intentions.
Yeah, there's always intentions,
Yeah.
I guess. I would say just because of the difference with my quote-unquote best friends, like back home in Michigan, and oh man, they're going to be mad if I say this. But like, you're not like really my best friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not my best friend. Like, I just say that in regards, like, obviously I'm single, so it's like, you're actually one of my best friends. Like, it's just like for fun, because girls call each other besties like to fucking 500 girls all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, but in general, like, they are my really good friend. I do trust them. But
Right.
the moment I date someone, like, I mean, I'm sure they understand, like, you don't, naturally you have to come down.
Yeah.
Like, naturally.
For sure, yeah.
Because that, again, it just comes down to respect. I know if once I start dating someone, I'm immediately introducing my girlfriend to my girl best friends.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I want them to know
wanna
each
know
other.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, I
It's a
want them
trust.
to know each other for pure trust. So they
Mm-hmm.
know, like, if they do text or call me at 1 or 2 a.m., they know it's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Like, and if my girlfriend doesn't like one of them, obviously, depending on the scenario, like, I'll communicate, but, like, I'll make sure I know that. You know, like I said, if I'm committing to someone, you have to respect all their wants and needs, because that's the only way things are gonna work out. Yeah, you got to be able to communicate. So, and then if that girl you're dating just cannot respect anything that you do, like, this is not the one, bro. You know, it's just not the
Toxic.
one. Very toxic. Everyone's toxic,
Yeah.
though.
Oh shit. That's all the time we have for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed his complete journey and all the advice, wisdom that he shared with us. Follow his
Instagram, TikTok is just Benji Kill _. If you guys wear Young LA or want White Rabbit, like, energy drink seltzers that are really, really bomb, just use my name and the code and you'll save some money. So that's about it.
Yeah, we'll have code links below. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yay. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let me drink this tea really quick.
Oh, I think that's probably cold.
Oh, it's all right. Out of pure respect. That was cold.